We're coming in hot to give you our hot takes on all the latest mental health news.
From headlines and memes to developments and breakthroughs.
We go into this show blind with the hopes of learning something new.
Before sharing some bunny hugs.
And leaving with our eyes wide open. I'm Nick.
And I'm Todd. And this is Mental Health Headline Hot Takes.
We're glad you're here. Yeah. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Mental Health Headline Hot Takes. I'm Nick.
This
is Todd. And I introduce him sometimes, and sometimes I let you introduce yourself.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, all that's right. Okay. Well, spin the wheel, make the deal.
And Nick goes first.
Oh, my God. Have we ever had that? I don't think we've ever had that.
I'm not sure.
By the way, did you hit record? Yes, you
did.
Hit record. Okay.
I always hit record. What do you mean?
For the audience, I don't remember. Did we tell them one time we recorded 2 whole episodes and never hit record? Or no, it was 1 episode. No, it was 2. It was 2, wasn't it? I think it was both. We just kept talking. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, but we made it through.
We did. So my article today is in People magazine, discovered from People's Instagram account. And this is a bit of a follow-up on a topic we've discussed before, but the reason that I wanted to bring it up again is because I actually have gone from indifferent to having a take. So I figured, not indifferent, but undecided and, the nuance of it all. But now this stupid website is putting an ad in front of the headline, so I can't read it. Okay, here we go. So here's the headline. It's in People magazine by Ingrid Vasquez, and it was published on April the 5th. This is a woman who's 28, opts for euthanasia rather than living with mental illness. And she says, I'm a little afraid of dying, but she's going to be dying on the couch in her living room at 28 years old. Her name is Zoraya Terbeek, who lives in the Netherlands. And this interview was published back on back on April 1st. Man, my dates, my times, who knows what's going on with me today. She's expecting to be euthanized in early May. And her reasoning at 28 years old, and this is a multi-layered hot take I have. So 28 years old, living with a life with depression, autism, and borderline personality disorder. And she said, in a quote, I will be going on the couch in the living room, which I said earlier. And then she said, I was always very clear that if it doesn't get better, I can't do this anymore. And she told the media saying that the procedure will take place in her home and she will not have any music. I don't know what the point of the music comment is, but maybe that's something that is part of this practice. So one of the other things before we get into our takes on this, she lives with her 40-year-old boyfriend, and they have 2 cats. And the psychiatrist that she's been working with told her, and I quote, "There's nothing more we can do for you. It's never going to get any better."
Huh.
Where to start? So when we talked about this before, I kind of understood the nuance of it. But now, when I saw this, I was immediately thinking to myself, just that from the headline, right? Because you know how people does it on Instagram. It's like a headline, and then you got to click to their bio, and you got to go get the story, and blah, 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 blah. It's a pain in the butt. But when I saw this, I was like, 28 years old. Like, what is she living with? That was my first question, right? Because that's kind of what I had said initially was, well, depending on the circumstances, I could see a scenario where that makes sense. I don't think it ever makes sense at 28 years old. And then, so my first issue and hot take is that no matter the level of mental illness or mental health challenges, I don't believe that someone should be able to partner up with a doctor and euthanize themselves. Now, I don't have an answer for you of what those age limits should be and how people should be able to make this decision. But I don't think someone at 28 years old who has these challenges should be giving up. More so, I don't think do we swear on here? I can't remember.
We sure have.
Okay. I don't think a fucking psychiatrist, a doctor who's supposed to protect their clients, or any kind of mental health professional is supposed to, do no harm, help their clients. If they can't treat them, they're supposed to help find somebody who can, or who can try something different. And I think we have far too many experimental drugs, far too many experimental options, far too many developments in neurology, that having someone give up and wipe their life out at 28 years old with an assisted suicide program is just unacceptable. And I don't think that is that is something any doctor of mental health or psychiatrist should be pushing whatsoever. And that was really frustrating for me to read that, because, as someone who, and here's the other part, I empathize with her, because I've lived with depression for so long. And there are days that, that line resonated with me so much, where she said, I got to find it again. Give me a second. I always very clear that if it doesn't get better, I can't do this anymore. Like, I have said that to myself every day since I was probably 6 or 7 years old, in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes I say it 100 times a day. Sometimes I maybe say it once a day, but I think that too. So like, I can empathize with that thought. But what I have to do is have, as I say to my therapist all the time, the audacity of hope. The audacity of hope that maybe someday it just won't be there. Or thinking back to the times that I had figured out how to live with it better, right? And so when I would put structure in place, this is all like pre-pandemic and then again during pandemic, but like, what are the things that I can do to make sure that I can function at a level that doesn't make me want to like basically die every day, right? So the fact that she feels this way is awful. I understand that feeling. I empathize with that feeling. I have had that feeling. I have that feeling all the time. But due to the treatments that I do for my mental health, due to the things that I do for myself that I know help, I just can't understand how we would have a doctor like promoting that there's nothing else you can do. There's always more to do. We evolve every single day. So I think that in early May, this young woman, 28 years old, is having the option to take her own life with assisted suicide from a medical physician. And it just seems like we're just kind of sleepwalking into this, and people that are supposed to be there to support her and help her have given up on helping her, which of course gives into that hopelessness you feel with any kind of depression. So I just think this is a big fail across the board. I think it's a governmental fail. I think it's a medical fail. I think it's a failure for her doctor, who should not be practicing any kind of mental health medicine of any type if they're going to be pushing a narrative that there's no hope, because there's always hope. And even when it doesn't feel like there's hope, you have to have the audacity of hope.
Yeah. Was that a direct quote from the doctor, or was that her like?
So it says it was her reiterating. Let me read it exactly. I'll read the whole thing. I just skipped to that part. Terbeek, who lives with her 40-year-old boyfriend and their 2 cats, told the media company that a psychiatrist previously told her that there's nothing more we can do for you. It's never going to get any better. So that's her hearsay. I would love to see this news story of, hey, I never said that, and maybe this is part of the illness, and maybe there was a miscommunication or something. But even if there was a miscommunication of something this drastic, you would think that doctor would have the wherewithal to be like, hey, like, do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Or let me find you someone else just to try, because there's always something else. There's always something new.
Yeah, I'm curious what they have tried. Like, have they tried
at 28? Have you tried getting a little older, getting a little more mature? Like, well, I know so many things.
Your brain's not even fully developed till 25 years old.
Yeah.
Like, so for 3 years you've had a fully developed brain, and your doctor's like, nope, that's good as it gets.
Right. And if you look at what she suffers with, depression, which can hinder your cognitive function, right? Borderline personality disorder, which can literally be
treated, and
it can be treated, but the cause of it can literally it's like from your childhood, right? So it's a developmental thing. Yeah, like it's a developmental thing. It's just, to me, this is ludicrous. I can't, like, I'm so upset about this.
Yeah, it's not like
I want to
she
talk
has,
to this person.
It's not like she has severe schizophrenia where it's like it's hardwired. It's a software thing. You can fix, well, quote unquote, fix personality disorders and put, have them in, what do you call it? Where it's like, you treat it,
you manage it, you treat it, and you manage it.
I mean, autism, I don't know. Okay, that's a hardware thing, but there's all types of people with autism that aren't applying to be dead.
I'm just so
like, I don't know.
By this.
Yeah, it is weird because like when I talked about the Canadian government possibly doing this, it was all ailments that were untreatable and unfixable, and it was just a matter of time kind of thing. So yeah, this is not good. My hot take is this is not good.
Yeah. Well, my main issue with it, I think, and now that I haven't talked about it out loud, other than, so full transparency to the audience, I texted Todd because I initially thought this was in Canada because I was so triggered by remembering the last conversation we had about this. I asked to make sure he didn't have this article or this story planned to talk today. Usually we don't talk about it ahead of time just to get hot takes, but I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing? And what does this doctor do? I think the problem I really have is with the doctor, because I can empathize and feel. And if I didn't have my therapist telling me, hey, sometimes this happens and things get better, there's new research on this, go look into this. It's like the audacity of hope. And I wish that someone in her life would say, it's not over. There is no guarantee you will ever get better, but there's also no guarantee that you won't.
Like, what's her 40-year-old boyfriend saying to her?
I'd love to know what he thinks.
I mean,
she wants to be cremated. I know she told her boyfriend that. The procedure just came legal in the Netherlands when the Termination of Life on Request and Assisted Suicide Act was passed in April of 2021, taking effect in April of 2022. Like, what kind of boyfriend is this? I mean, I guess he lives with her, and so I can empathize with that too. Like, you live with someone and they suffer, you suffer, and you suffer for them, right? Like, you feel for them, I'm sure. Yeah. But it's just like, what are we doing? Like, what is this guy doing?
I mean, she says a psychiatrist said that, so does that mean
some other ones?
Yeah, exactly. Is that like the one you're seeing now, a most recent one, or was this one in the past? Or because I know there's good doctors and bad doctors, but
of course.
But I mean,
do no harm.
That's just validating her wanting to die. You know what I mean? That's fucked up.
It's really. I mean, I have nothing to do to help her, but I just would love to talk to her. Just, I don't know. I know I promised happier, lighter stories today, but here we are.
Maybe you can, well, you have her name. Maybe you can reach out to her.
I know. Maybe I will. Sometimes it's like, it's really, we've talked about this, I think, offline, but like sometimes, it's really hard to take on someone who's struggling when you're not like feeling at your absolute best. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then not knowing or having to like, institute boundaries. And chances are I'd never even talk to her, right? That's probably like 95% most likely outcome. But I also just, I'm like, who am I? Like, you've got to talk to these doctors and stuff, like real doctors, real mental health professionals, psychologists.
Are you on Cameo?
I am, but I don't think I've had a Cameo in a while. I don't even know if I still have it on my phone. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm like really upset that this is a thing.
I feel everything you're feeling.
Good. So I wasn't sure.
I can't add to that. I mean, I think I'm still kind of undecided with euthanasia for mental health reasons, but from the information you've given me on this story, this one does not seem right.
It doesn't. And you know what? you just took my unhinged rant and put it into the one sentence I should have just went with, which there's something about this that doesn't feel right. And to me, what that piece is the piece that there are medical professionals. This isn't cancer where you're going to get so much worse. You're not going to have any quality of life. You're going to be in physical pain, emotional pain, and we're just going to force you to stay in this bed until the moment that you can't be on this earth anymore. Like that's a different story. Or a type of, schizophrenia, which, by the way, maybe we'll cure that someday too. We don't know. That's why to say there's nothing else we can do for you. You can say there's nothing else to do for you right now, but we have made so many advancements, especially in mental health and understanding the way that the brain works. It's just crazy to me. Yeah. And I feel like it's getting easier and easier for people to take their lives. And I just don't, now we're doing it as a medical service. Like what? Yeah. I don't know.
It's the New World Order, man.
Don't even get me started on that.
Okay. I'm not even sure what that is exactly. That's a whole other rabbit hole.
Nobody is, but it's provocative.
Yeah.
It's like that. What's that? Nobody knows what it is, but it's provocative. That's from a movie. I can't remember which one.
Oh, it's a good line. Well, that is a hot take, and I liked it. I liked your take on that hot. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that we have to talk about it, but
well, I think what's happening to us is we're like getting emotionally invested in some of these stories, and then we're like seeking them out. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah, I do. Are you in love with her?
No. I would love for her boyfriend to be in love with her, though. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. I'll assume nothing about him, but
yeah.
Even that doesn't feel right.
No, it really doesn't.
Well, I have a hot take here.
Let's hear it.
Gambling addiction hotlines say volume is up and callers are younger as online sports betting booms. So you watch football.
I'm also very angry about this.
Yeah, I won't read the whole thing, but it's basically saying since things like FanDuel and DraftKings have started, every state, some of them are saying their calls for addiction to gambling has like doubled since like 2019. I don't know where they came from. Like even in Canada, I mean, I think it said 30 states out of the 50 have legalized this. And a few provinces in Canada legalized it. It's like, I cannot watch a goddamn sports game without a celebrity telling me to go on my phone.
King. I know.
And you can do it from your phone. It directly to your bank account. They're saying it's worse than even, vending or not vending machines, the 1-hour bandits, whatever they call them, because you have to like actually go get money or tokens and put it in. This is like just digitally on your phone, goes right to your bank account. And these companies are saying they are cutting people off, and they're saying, okay, how many people have you cut off? And they're saying, well, we're not going to tell you. So who knows if that's true or not, but it just drives me nuts. It's like I'm watching a football game and it's constantly alcohol or gambling, and it's very distracting. And I said to my wife one time as we're watching, it's like, if I was ever a celebrity, I would never, ever sign up to do one of these ads. Like, it just seems like evil in a way,
So I don't like it at all. I think it's too easy. We have a casino going up here in Chicago. I don't like that. I think gambling taps into the dopamine brain chemical, which is the reward chemical. And so it's you probably know that the whole element of tying it to everyday sports and doing it from your phone and the people, I don't necessarily begrudge the people that promote it, because I don't think, although I don't know, man, maybe I do begrudge them. I don't know. You got to make your money, right? But at the same time, like, I wouldn't be able to promote it because I know how much impact it has on some people. And I don't mess with sports gambling very often anymore. I used to do like DraftKings on daily or weekly games on the NFL. I'll do fantasy football with my friends where it's like a league, a whole league, and here's, a couple $100 or whatever. I'll do that kind of betting. But like even at a casino, I remember one time I lost $100 when I didn't have $100 to lose in about 3 minutes playing roulette. And I was like, I am not doing that. And I'll do like I'll do $20 in the slot just to be fun. But yeah, it is a dangerous game. And I think making it so readily accessible is scary. But I have a friend who's a co-owner in a company that goes and promotes these. And I know, yeah, she's a good person. She's actually a wonderful person. But it's like,
she is.
I'm sure there's like a disconnect some people have to do, or they just maybe don't think about it, which is, I guess, fair.
Yeah. I mean, everybody makes decisions and it's up to the person to making the betting and stuff, but it's like having loaded guns on the front porch or in your front yard. It's like, well, play with these guns at your own risk. It's like, well,
yeah.
Do we have to have these loaded guns where the public can just pick them up and monkey around with them? And the fact that the ages are getting younger and younger and younger too. In the article, it does say like so it's not just anymore. It's like, I'm going to take the Bills over the Packers. It's like, there's like 100 games within each game. Who's going to get the first touchdown? Who's going to get the highest score? Who's going to kick the longest? So then you can gamble
more and more ways.
Game, per game. So, in the article, there's a guy that's like lost his, there's people that lose their businesses, lose their relationship. It's like any other addiction.
Houses.
So anyway,
every day I feel like I'm more and more in the, what the hell are we doing as a society? I just don't even want to think about it anymore. I think we're making such stupid decisions that are just all to make money and just screw everybody else. I just don't think it's even debatable anymore. And people just kind of lollygag around their life. And I don't think there's anything wrong with like games and gambling, but there's gotta be like regulation.
Yeah, exactly. It's having the access to your bank account instantly and making it so addictive.
Instant dopamine.
Or having like limits. And they say you can set your own limits and stuff. Like it's through some convoluted settings that you have to go through. And so you set your own settings as to how much you can gamble and how much time you can spend on it and stuff.
But then what happens and stops you from going and being like, I'm going to do $50 a day instead of $25 a day.
Yeah.
Because I'm an addict.
Regulated.
Right?
Exactly. I did that with booze. It didn't work very good.
Well, might work for a minute, but
exactly.
There we go. Another one in the books. Thank you for listening to our rants. My unhinged rant.
If you have any articles or anything you want to send us or topics you want us to cover, feel free to reach out to us, and our stuff's in the show notes there. So until next time, thanks for listening.
Peace.
Or watching.
This has been our mental health headline hot takes.
We're so glad you came.
Remember, when you heal yourself,
you heal the world.
Be sure to like this video, leave comments, and suggest articles for future episodes.
Hit subscribe to Eyes Wide Open
and Bunny Hugs and Mental Health.